Curiosity Nearly Killed the Cat by Lara E. Sims. Narrated by Nathan Beatty. Prologue. Wednesday, 1st of January, 2059.
Happy birthday, sweetheart,
Dr. Thomas Seabrook said to his wife, Courtney, as the big screen set up in the hall started transmitting the chimes of Big Ben miles away in London.
Let's hope it's better than last year,
she replied.
I'll drink to that. You're not still thinking we should have stayed at home, are you?
He asked.
No, the kids need to spend some time with your parents,
Courtney replied.
Bring on 3:30 on Friday afternoon when the flight goes back to New York,
Thomas replied, taking a sip of his beer.
That's not really fair on your dad now, is it?
Courtney replied with a laugh.
He can stay as long as he likes, but if Mother faults my parenting just one more time,
Thomas replied. A man stopped at their table and Thomas scowled even more.
Do you mind if I sit down?
Dr. Derek Dunham asked.
Yes,
Thomas said.
I just wanted to wish you a Happy New Year.
Dr. Dunham sounded hurt.
Well, now you have, but I'm afraid I can't return your wish.
Thomas replied. I'm not sure what I ever did to you for you to put an official complaint in. It cost me my job at the hospital, so I had to find alternative employment. It also caused a prominent donor to the private hospital's relative to kick me out of a consultation with his wife, Dr. Dunham said.
That patient was my daughter, and maybe, just maybe, she was worried by the fact that you didn't diagnose her mother's acute case of appendicitis, and she was fighting for her life. She thought you might have the same issue, spotting if there was a problem with her unborn baby. And I am told that as far as Theodore, my son-in-law, is concerned, what Paris Brooke wants, Paris Brooke gets. She wanted you as far away from her as was humanly possible. So that is what happened.
Thomas said. There were many other things your wife's illness could have been. Dr. Dunham said sulkily.
Yes, but it wasn't. I suggested that was what it could be at one of the appointments I attended with my wife. But you dismissed the idea without proper consideration, in my opinion. That is why I made the complaint. If you had just acknowledged that you were wrong, that would have been the end of the matter, and everyone makes mistakes from time to time. However, you didn't. So any consequences you brought on yourself.
Thomas replied. Courtney had very rarely seen her husband, who was usually very mild-mannered, so upset. However, that had been a nightmare few days for him, stuck in New York after attending his grandmother's funeral, to flying home to find her deep in an induced coma. He loved her fiercely, and she knew that the most important things in his world were her, their children, and now their 2 grandsons. She was well informed that he had sat by her bedside night and day, praying for her recovery. He was not at all a religious man, so for him to pray at all was a rarity and a sign of his deep distress at the situation. His grandmother had been the one who went to church every Sunday, and most days in between. Thankfully, his prayers had been answered, and she had recovered, with a roadmap of scars on her abdomen, to go with the 2 cesarean scars she had already had. But never mind, she was healthy now. She touched Thomas's arms reassuringly.
If you'll excuse me, I need to go and dance with my wife. You are making her nervous and spoiling her evening,
her husband said stiffly. He offered his hand to her, and she took it immediately. She needed to get him away from Dr. Dunham before he punched him or something equally catastrophic. So far, it seemed nobody had noticed the exchange. Thomas led her onto the dance floor. Her personal savior, Dr. Samuel Marchbanks, who had been Thomas's best friend since kindergarten, and his wife Miriam, who was one of Courtney's dearest friends, were dancing together nearby. Her other friend Emily was dancing with one of the doctors, though he had not originally been her date.
Look, I'm sorry, but he just gets right on my nerves.
Thomas apologized.
It's quite all right. I know how protective of me you can be. You shouldn't let him get to you, though, handsome. He's not worth the time or the energy.
She replied.
You were frowning. I thought I had upset you.
Thomas admitted.
No, I was just thinking that Riv won't be too happy if Emily ends up taking that doctor home with her,
Courtney said.
River is secretly hoping that Emily and Ed would get back together,
Thomas confided, glancing over in Emily's direction.
I think he would be disappointed there. Jenny is here to stay, most unfortunately,
Courtney said. Jenny was her American sister-in-law. At times they had a mutual dislike of each other. At other times Courtney respected that Edward loved Jenny, but had never quite liked her.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?